After working with hundreds of families and helping them successfully buy homes in the Bay Area, there's one thing I see over and over again, and it is this. Real estate success does not come from scattered advice, listening to random friends, clickbait, news, and articles, chasing Zillow alerts, or just waiting for the market to magically work in your favor. How many of you guys have been waiting for interest rates to drop over the last 3 years? Instead, success comes from taking the right information, organizing it into a clear plan, and applying it into your unique situation so that you can get the home and lifestyle you want without the stress and the guesswork. As the founder of Spencer Sue Real Estate, one of the top producing teams in the Bay Area, we asked ourselves a question. How do we take everything we've learned about buying in one of the most competitive markets in the country, if not the world, and put it into a framework that people can actually follow? That's exactly what I'm going to share with you today. This is our 7-step home buying framework. The good news is anyone can use this, whether you're a first-time buyer or moving up into your dream home. Because let's break it down step by step. Number 1, you need to define your vision. The first step is clarity. Buying a home isn't just a simple math formula. It's about the life that you want to live. What is your motivation, and will this change within a year? Do you want a walkable neighborhood? Do you want top-rated schools? Maybe extra space for family or home office. Maybe different family members will be coming and living with you for months of the year, as many of my clients do. Perhaps you want a better commute. Maybe you also want to get out of wasting money on rent. Now imagine yourself 5 years from now looking back. What would have to happen for you to say this was the right move for this time right now? I'll give you an example. I worked with a family in Sunnyvale. On paper, they could have bought a much larger house, just 15-20 minutes east and south. However, they had a clear vision. They wanted, what they really appreciated was the daily convenience by being near work, around a diverse community of people and restaurants. So by clarifying that vision, they avoided a mistake and bought a home that perfectly aligned with the life they want to live. That's where we're gonna start because we wanna focus on where are options that can work today, but also that meet your lifestyle. Now, number 2, you gotta understand the numbers. The next step is defining what that lifestyle actually costs. Because this isn't just about what the bank says you're pre-approved for. It's about what you feel comfortable with long term. Now, while banks may allow up to 45% or even higher gross debt to income, determine what is the true max you can do relative to your income, but also then make sure it's high enough to get into the area that you actually want. Of course, everyone would love to buy a single family home in Palo Alto for $2 million. That's just not reasonable, as you aren't the only one buying a home in the area. What monthly payment lets you still travel, invest, and enjoy life, not just pay the mortgage? We help clients run scenarios, fixed versus adjustable rate mortgages, down payment strategies, even mortgage buy downs. I'll share a quick story. One of our clients was pre-approved for $2.5 million, but we walked through the numbers and they really understood how much it is for property tax, insurance, possible HOA, and their actual mortgage payments. They realized their comfort level is probably closer to $2 million. That clarity meant less stress and they bought a home they loved without feeling house poor. So knowing your numbers creates confidence, but also be realistic. Where are those options going to be? Which leads us to step number 3, which is analyzing the market. The Bay Area moves very quickly. All good homes will sell within a week. You cannot afford to guess, and you do not want to go back in time and wish I should have done something for this home, because it may be months before something like that happens again. Now we track real data, pricing trends, neighborhood demand, so you know exactly where the opportunities are relative to your budget and lifestyle. For example, there was plenty of opportunities back at the end of 2022 and the early 2023 where buyers assumed many places across the Bay Area were all crashing. But when we pulled the data, we already saw improvements and price increases in a lot of specific neighborhoods and cities. My clients who trusted the data jumped in and secured homes before the next wave of competition hit. Now, when you look back just a few years later, those homes are up 25%. Market knowledge isn't just power, it's money saved and stress avoided. Next up is to build a proper search strategy. The MLS, including Zillow and Redfin, will have 99% of all homes that will ever transact. In this market, you want home sellers to put the home on the market, as the homes that tend to be off market are actually usually overpriced. But they don't get penalized until they're official on the market, as they can always claim, oh, we didn't get the entire exposure out because we were off market. This is where we work very closely with our clients to work collaboratively going into every single weekend. We already know which areas would be best for you specifically because of the historic sold data of the last 2 months. Using those same maps and regions, we simply search for homes on the market in those areas because if homes are of a similar size and condition that has sold before in the last 2 months, it will likely be the same right now given the market hasn't been skyrocketing like normal. However, keep in mind, we have zero control of the list price. Don't let an overpriced home or an underpriced home dictate your emotion one way or another. Work with us and we will show you the data-driven deep analysis to help you see what range the home is actually worth despite a list price that you have zero control over. Next is the strategic negotiation. This is where deals are won, and this is why I love the business itself. We've negotiated and secured hundreds of offers, and what we learned is this: it's not about writing a lowball number. It's about writing the smartest contract based off of comparables, the level of interest, which is competition, and anything material from the disclosure review. Maybe that was going to mean price, flexible terms, stronger timelines, or even appealing directly to what the seller values most. For instance, this year we had a client competing on a home in Belmont. They weren't the highest offer, and we competed against 15 offers, but because we structured the terms around the seller's exact needs, our clients won. And it also helped that I was the agent because I've done over 60 transactions in a year. So most agents, including myself, would prefer to work with someone that's experienced because they want to ensure that this process of closing will be smooth. The last thing any of us would want is the whole deal to be blown up because someone just didn't do the proper due diligence and didn't educate their client in advance. That's what true negotiation is about. Positioning you as the obvious choice by barely winning. Now, this doesn't mean that we're gonna go $100,000 below the first place. That's not how it works either. You gotta make it tough enough for them to want to choose us, yet still not necessarily be the one that just simply overpays. Step 6, due diligence and protection. In the Bay Area, before you make an offer, we need to do all the due diligence in advance. So is all the work done with permits? If not, what does that mean for you? Is the square foot accurate on the county records? Keep in mind, what they post on Redfin and Zillow could be any number. I can say your house is 5,000 square feet. Now, it's on the buyer's side to verify that information, and as the seller may obviously want to do everything they can to juice up those numbers. What are the material items in the inspection reports you gotta be mindful of to budget accordingly? Is this location able to get insurance or not? That's a problem with a lot of high fire areas, even in very expensive areas. Is there anything on the report concerning that we need to do another inspection on? Due diligence is your shield. It ensures you know exactly what you're buying and mitigates large surprises. While all inspectors are humans and errors are obviously possible, it shouldn't be because of our lack of review. Once your offer is accepted, the work isn't over though. We need to ensure there are no issues to get to actually closing for you to get the keys. While the majority of the work will fall into the lender's hands, since it's all about processing at this time, whether it's an appraiser see the value of how we came up with a particular number, troubleshooting documents with the HOA, fixing any escrow or lender problems that may arise, there is always a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And my goal is to make it as seamless as possible so it may seem easy, but it's actually because we've been taking things on in front of it rather than being reactive to it. Last but not least is the closing and long-term planning. Closing isn't just the finish line, it is the launch pad. Once you get the keys, we don't just disappear. We connect you with trusted vendors, contractors, remodelers, and even help you strategize on how to build equity and wealth through your property. We have regular events to get our amazing clients together to meet with one another and connect. I stay connected with a lot of my favorite clients through dinners multiple times a year. I go travel around the world to be with my clients. Right now, I'm in Vietnam as we speak. To give you an idea, one client in Milpitas used our vendor network to remodel right before selling. They sold for an extra $100,000 on top of the remodel cost, and we did all the work for them. Your home isn't just where you live. It's going to be one of the most powerful long-term investments that you will have. So that's the 7-step framework that we use at the Spencer Sue Real Estate team. It's the exact process that helped hundreds of families buy homes in one of the most competitive markets in the country and do it with confidence, clarity, and strategy. So whether you're just starting your search or you've been trying to buy and keep missing out with other agents, this framework keeps you a clear path forward. If you want to learn more about how this works for your situation, reach out to me directly by calling or texting me at 408-547-4590 because we will go over a game plan within the same day to get you underway on a successful journey and easily save you months of time on the call itself. Because in the Bay Area, buying a home doesn't have to be chaotic. With the right framework, it can be the smartest decision that you will ever make. I'm Spencer Sue. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.